Hello guys, welcome back to Football Manager 2023 here in Hungary as the manager of MTK Budapest. Our 10th nation on our list of all the European nations where we are aiming to win the top flight division in every European nation. Previously we took on Poland and we won the title with Wisla Krakow. Had a year off waiting for a job to come up in Hungary and we did manage to land the MTK job. Now things have started off fantastically well here in Hungary. We are, if we go over it, we are currently unbeaten. We've not lost a game yet as the manager of MTK. It's been an absolutely fantastic start to life in Hungary, which, you know, if we want to get through this before we break the record for being the oldest living person, we need to be knocking these Asian nations off as quickly as we can. So picking up a decent squad is certainly helping. So obviously you were here opening day of the season where we got that rather fortunate 1-0 win against Újpest, the Újpest goalkeeper, with the assist for Andrei really in that game. We did follow that up with 2 draws though. First was against Győrmot. Apologies if I pronounced that wrong, but you know I'm British, so you've got to let me off with some pronunciations. We went ahead in this game. It was Marian Michevsky, the centre-half, one of our signings, bagging the goal there in the 18th minute. Mihai Usa did equalise for Győrmot, and that's the way it stayed despite our domination. We were very, very good. Damazdi had a poor game on the left-hand side, though. Sipos maybe not so good in the centre of midfield, but we only allowed the one shot against us on target. Unfortunately, it did go in. But we dominated the game. Unfortunately, we just couldn't find the killer, well, the killer goal, really. Puskás Akademia, the team predicted to finish second in the league, were next up. We took the lead again in this one through Andor Andrei, before, just 4 minutes later, Christian Lukács did equalise from the penalty spot for Puskás. A very fairly close game. We had more shots. They've got the higher XG, but they did have a penalty. Probably a draw is a fair reflection on the game. A few poor performances again from Szukszański on the left-hand side. Didn't play the greatest. But a 1-1 draw, and we continued that unbeaten start. And we sort of hit the ground in the next game against Diosgyőr again. British guys, I'm British. Give me a break. But we hit 5 in this one, and we were 5-0 up without reply. Alex Roda, Ronnie Hurau, Damazdi, and Andrei with the goals, all in well, most of them in the first half. Hurau did get one in the 86th minute, so we weren't 5-0 up. But 5-2 in a thoroughly dominant performance. We had 19 shots in total, 9 on target. We played very, very well. A couple of 6.4 in there, 6.4s in there for the defence, which sort of indicates to me that their attacks came down the right-hand side, but then looking at their right-handed attacking player, they didn't really. They came down the left-hand side, and our 2 left-sided defenders played quite well. But yeah, a dominant performance, 5-2. Followed that up with another 5 goals in the Cup against Godolo, who are a lower side team, so you'd expect to win that one. This was the big one for us, though. It was Ferencváros, the comfortably the best team in Hungary, and we picked up a 1-0 win. Alex Roda with the only goal of the game in the 11th minute, in what has to be said was a fairly even game. I think goal-scoring opportunities were few and far between, with the low XGs, 0.6 for Ferencváros, 0.4 for MTK. We didn't see a lot of the ball. We were on the back foot for a lot of the game, but we got the goal that counted, which was fantastic, and a 1-0 win away from home as well. Followed that up against ZTE with a 3-0 win. It's meant to make it 3 clean sheets in a row in all competitions. Andrei and Szukszański with the goals in this one, all in the first half. Battered them really. ZTE do find themselves down near the foot of the table as well. Andrei played really, really well. Bagged himself at 8.6, obviously scoring 2 goals. And it was another clean sheet against Meskova Z. We'll go with Meskova Z. Szukszański and Peter with the goals in this one. Peter he's my backup striker to Andrei. Andrei didn't have the best of games. Neither did Kolbe on the right hand side with a 6.2. But it's another game in which we absolutely dominated. We only gave up the 1 shot on target, 3 shots in total. So our defence are doing their job, keeping the ball away from Jagadix in goal. And it was another clean sheet. And we did make that 5 clean sheets in a row in the next game against Vasas, Kolber and Haral with the goals in this one. Shipos did pick it up in Inji early on. We've picked up quite a few bookings as well. We do have Tackle Harder on, which, leads itself to some bookings. But again, it was another dominant performance. You can see here, Vasas were never really in the game at all. Hungarian Cup, 4th round, we took on ESMTK. A 3-2 win in this one. We were 3-0 up. Andreli with a hat-trick before Jabo did get 2 late goals for ESMTK. League-wise, though, it was Honved next, another team who are struggling near the foot of the table. They have actually just sacked their manager, have Honved, but Szajanski, 2 own goals from Tibor Marco Bodo. Certainly helped us out, but Andreli did get another one himself to make it a comfortable 4-1 win. Provenzano did get one back for Honved, but it's another game in which we were very, very comfortable in. And then after that, it was a Fervar, a 0-0 draw in this one, a little bit disappointing. Not really a lot happened in the game. We only hit the target once. Andreli with a 6.0 rating up top there. We sort of just didn't really turn up for this one. Fortunately, though, we did keep them out ourselves. And then most recently, we've took on Szeged. Andreli with the only goal of the game in the 13th minute. We probably should have scored here. That big jump in XG there is absolutely massive. We did play particularly well, though, and it's another clean sheet. So defensively, we have pretty much fixed our issues that we used to have playing the 4-2-4. We don't concede a lot of goals anymore, which is backed up by the fact that we've got the 5th best... Sorry, we've only conceded 5 goals, which is the best defence in the league. 21 goals scored as well, which is the best, which, as you can imagine, has put us at the top of the league. Pushkas Academy in 2nd place, 2 points behind us. Ferencváros are actually 5 points behind us. They've lost 3 games so far this season. They've not had the best of starts. But Pushkas themselves are also unbeaten. So it is starting to become something of a 3-horse race at the top of the table, a third of the way in. I'm quite pleased with how we've done. I really am quite pleased with how we've done. Financially, we're doing really well as well. 1.1 million in the bank, so we do have room to improve. As far as the squad's going, in terms of goals, it is Adreli leading the way with 11. Harau, who is actually a defensive midfielder, is 2nd. But I'm quite pleased with how Adreli is doing. One item that I did notice after that first game of the season against Budapest, that it came up saying Andreli finally scores. It was something like 13 games since he scored. He's now got 11 in 13 for us, which is great. Assist-wise as well, Toth, Shipos, Harau, Szajanski doing really well in terms of assists and average ratings. Peter Dudas, who's only played the 1 game, is on 9.2, but that was in the Cup. Roda, who has played regularly, on a 7.52, so one of our central defensive signings, is doing particularly well. So we've had a really, really good start, guys. It has been quite positive, really, and I'm quite pleased. We could be ticking the nation off pretty early. We also have in place is some really, really good youth players who are going to start coming through. The potential on them is absolutely fantastic, and that is this. Youth recruitment is first class. Could do with some slightly better youth facilities, some slightly better training facilities, but youth recruitment is absolutely bang on, which is, certainly puts the club in good place for future. But we've got a 76% win ratio here as the manager of MTK. Yet to lose a game in the 13 that we've played, which is fantastic. We are taking on Ferencváros today, our fierce rival, our derby. Not fierce rival, sorry, it's a derby. Also local to us. So let's get into it, shall we? Let's get into the game. Hopefully we can remain unbeaten. I'm not expecting to go unbeaten this season at all. We've just had one hell of a start to the season, which has been fantastic. Now, I haven't set up the starting lineup, unfortunately. So we're going to quickly do that now, and we'll have a run through it. Let's get... Sure, we'll go with that. Sumari is actually injured at the minute, which we've had to adjust a little bit in the centre of midfield. In fact, you know what? Just to speed it up, let's do that, because this is pretty much the lineup that I go with anyway. And we'll make our own changes. We'll have Adebayo in there. Yeah, that's pretty much the lineup that we've been running through for the season. Varga maybe not so much. It's more Michevsky. So, Jagadick's in goal. Toth as the starting right back. Now, he has been interchangeable with Polankai. But Roda, Michevsky, whose face has disappeared. Okachukwu as the back four. Today's starting lineup in the midfield is Harao and Adebayo as the volantes. Adebayo is actually naturally an attacking / midfielder, but he can play in that. Well, he can't play in that position, but he's got the attributes to play in that position. Stoklosa comes in as the defensive midfielder on defend. Kolber, Szanski, and Adrali as the front three. Like I say, it would be really, really nice if we could beat Ferencváros. They are going to come on strong towards the end of the season and possibly close that gap. So we need to pull away from them as much as we can early on. We're currently 5 points clear of them, which is fantastic. Obviously, a defeat here today would put them just the 2 points behind us and close the gap right up. So hoping we can continue our opening season form. And we're looking to do that inside the first 10 minutes. It is Toth with the throw and finds Roda. Stoklosa. It's Roda again. Stoklosa. Michevsky. Feeding the ball into Harao. Michevsky again. No, he doesn't go for that one. He finds Szanski over the top instead. Gets the ball into the box towards Adebayo. First time on the volley. What a great effort that was by Adebayo. Just over the top though, unfortunately. As we are piling the pressure on here with Okachukwu with the throw in Harao. Okachukwu again to Szanski. He's tackled though. And the ball's cleared, but only as far as Roda, who brings it forward, finds Toth on the right-hand side. Good ball into the box. There's nobody there, though. Mendes cuts it out, and now it's Varga, the goalkeeper for Ferencváros. Goes long. Michevsky, please win the header. He does. Stoklosa. Okachukwu. Stoklosa again. He's forced backwards to Michevsky. He's got his central defensive partner in Roda alongside him. Out wide on the right-hand side to Toth. Bring the ball over halfway. Feeding it forward down the line towards Kolber. Cuts back, finds Toth inside the area, gets it across. It's deflected to Draley's there, and Draley with his 12th goal of the season. Providing we don't get a VAR check, it does look like it's going to stand. One thing I did want to point out, guys, is how many disallowed goals we've had by VAR this season in the opening 10 games of the season. 17 disallowed goals for offside by VAR. Crazy numbers. We have taken the lead, though, against Ferencváros, who have not really been in our half yet. They've had all the ball, but they've not done anything with it. It's Michevsky with a deep free kick, 25 on the clock. Finds Harao, goes long over the top towards Kolber. Great diagonal. Kolber towards that penalty area. Good ball in towards Adrali again, and Andor Adrali, second goal of the game, 13th of the season, puts MTK 2-0 up against Ferencváros. What a fantastic first 25 minutes of this game we've had. That's a fantastic pass there by Harao. Kolber does really well to get the ball in. It's a great cross, and Adrali, just the desire to get there ahead of the two defenders and power the header past the goalkeeper. What a brilliant start to life we've had here in Hungary. It would be fantastic if we could tick this nation off at the first attempt as well. Back-to-back titles in two different nations would be absolutely fantastic, and we could move on to Romania pretty quick. Roda finds Michevsky. We're looking to make it 3 before half time. It's Harao. Michevsky again. He's got Szanski ahead of him. Harao's got Okachukwu. Nice passing interchanges here. Szanski into Adrali looking for his hat-trick. No, feeds Kolber instead. Yaroslav Kolber makes it 3-0 on the stroke of half time, and we are absolutely battering the best team in Hungary. It's not even half time, and we're 3-0 up. They haven't had a shot. This is the best team in Hungary. And look at the stats. Ignore possession. Obviously, that much possession, they're not doing anything with it. So what does it matter? You know what? I'm flabbergasted. I am flabbergasted by how dominant this has been so far. We're currently going 5 points clear at the top. Puskás do have a game in hand, but we're going 8 points clear of Ferencváros, which is absolutely fantastic. And I said at the start of the season that toppling Ferencváros is going to be a difficult task, especially with how we were perceived by the media in terms of our odds. I've got it down to 36s, by the way. We were 101 when we took over, but we're 36s now. But the fact that we're already 8 points clear of the favourites in the table is absolutely fantastic. And we're now approaching the end of this game. Ferencváros have had one shot, and it hasn't hit the target. And that is an absolutely fantastic performance by MTK Budapest. I've clicked the wrong thing, and I've annoyed a couple of them. We've dominated the best team in the country, which is great, and we continue our unbeaten start to life as the manager of MTK. That is now 14 games without defeat, a 78 win percentage, not a single red. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. 8 points clear at the top. So we've got the remaining 2/3 of the season to go. Obviously, I am going to come back 2/3 of the way through the season, see how we're doing. The last episode of the season, depending on how well we continue to do, could be pretty early on. It might not be near the end of the season. It'd be great to knock Hungary off at the first attempt. But guys, thank you for being here for our humiliation of Ferencváros. If you do like what you've seen, please remember to hit that thumbs up button. And if you want to stay up to date with any future content, please hit the subscribe button as well. Every single time you do it, it does help me out massively, and I really, really appreciate it. But guys, thank you for being here, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Cheers, guys.